Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about the best way for an absolute beginner to start a Greyhawk campaign using 5th edition. Today on Greyhawk Grognard. Okay, so the other day over on one of the big social media platforms, I won't say where, somebody expressed frustration with the world of Greyhawk. And the basic argument was, he was completely new to the setting, he only knew 5th edition D&D, and he was just overwhelmed with the amount of material. He was looking at things like From the Ashes and Greyhawk Treasures and just a whole bunch of supplements and things from the later years. And he was very frustrated because it was a ton of information. It was, he liked the setting as a whole, but he found himself just completely swamped by the depth of the information that some of these other books were giving him. And that got me thinking, what would be the best way to approach that from a complete beginner's point of view? You're not used to the old games. You're not used to 1st edition or 2nd edition. You don't really know anything about the setting other than it looks intriguing and you might want to dip your toe in. So what to do? So my advice to this person was twofold. First of all, get the gold box. That's the very beginning of the, it was that's a thing that was published way back when, right after the folio, which is also a very good choice, but the gold box has a little additional information. And the reason I told him to go with the gold box, because the gold box was written for 1st edition AD&D, but it is so rules light, with one or two exceptions when it comes to the deities. And if you're just running a normal campaign, the stats for Ayuz or Saint Cuthbert shouldn't really be an issue. But the rest of it is is just completely rules agnostic. It gives the ruler of this kingdom is a 10th level ranger. Okay, that translates to 5th edition very easily. You might want to bump up the levels a little bit, but that's all. But in terms of the information, it's very small, very encapsulated, very easy to digest, and yet it is also really evocative. It helps the DM understand, okay, well, they give a few little references over here to these two countries don't like each other and there's stuff happening, or there's a one line over here about something that happened 10 years ago, and it just sparks your imagination. It just gives you all these little ideas, and they're not presented as these are adventure hooks. It's just worked into the text itself, and that's one of the brilliant things about the gold box, is that it is so evocative and yet it is also so brief. It is really easy to read. It's very easy for the DM to get that information. So my first suggestion is to go grab a copy of the gold box. You can get it on DriveThruRPG as a PDF. You can find them on eBay for maybe under $100, which it's a lot, but it's not hideous. You could probably find them at cons or whatever. And eventually Wizards might come out with a print on demand once they figure out how to do the maps. But that's my first suggestion, is go with the gold box. Keep it simple. Keep your campaign in 576, or start your campaign in 576, and while you're running it, you can start to read some of the later stuff, and you're not going to have to absorb it all at once. You can kind of read through it as it was released. So you can get From the Ashes if you want to, or Greyhawk Wars if you want to see what's happening in little chunks as the campaign progresses. But the beauty of it is you've got 5 years of in-game time before any of that's going to matter anyway. So that's my first suggestion. Get the gold box. Keep it simple, very easy, and it's also rules agnostic. So that's one. And just a quick plug, if you do like this video, if you like this kind of stuff, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so that you never miss a video. Videos always come out on Thursdays and Sundays with a couple of bonus things here and there if I can work it. You'll also find links to the blog where there's a whole bunch of free downloads. You'll find a link to my Patreon where I'm making new free stuff. You'll find a link to my online store where you can buy something. All that stuff really helps me make this kind of content and make free stuff that I'm able to give away. So please take a look at the stuff below. If you like the video, please help. And anyway, back to the show. Now, the second half of that is a little trickier because the world of Greyhawk works okay with 5th edition. You know, you can just run 5th edition straight out of the books and it'll work fine. You won't have a lot of the flavor that is Greyhawk-specific, but you can still run it. You're going to have to find a way to explain tieflings. A lot of folks in the Flanaess are going to probably think that they're demons or something, especially after Greyhawk Wars. And same thing with dragon men, draconians, whatever they're called. You're going to have to figure out a way to make them work because they're not really found much in Greyhawk. You could just get rid of them entirely and run the game fine. That's probably what I would do if I was going to be doing a long-term Greyhawk campaign. But if you do, excuse me, if you do want to get some of that Greyhawk flavor in 5th edition format, on the blog, again, there's a link below. On my blog, there are a ton of free downloads of 5th edition stuff. There are character subclasses, there are all the little backgrounds, there's spells, there's specialty priests for every Greyhawk deity. There's a ton of stuff on the blog that you could use if you wanted to go with that 5e flavor, with the Greyhawk flavor using 5e rules. It's analogous to way back in the day with 2nd edition when they had the kits. A lot of us on the old AOL boards were using, we're making up Greyhawk kits, you know, so there would be like a Fighter of Kaoland kit or whatever. Same idea. There are backgrounds, there are things for fighters and sorcerers and things like that. You know, there's new patrons and stuff. So all the stuff that you would need for players to have all that background worked into their characters mechanically, just like 5e likes to do, is on the blog. So feel free, just go to there. You'll see free resources at the top, and that should give you all you need to get started in a 5e Greyhawk game. But again, you don't need to do that because Greyhawk will work straight out of the box, straight out of the book in 5th edition. I might tweak it a little bit, as I said before, with the Dragonborn and the Tieflings, but that's about it. And I know gnomes aren't a core. At least last I checked, I don't think gnomes are a core thing, but they've since come out with rules for player character gnomes. So anyway, I might be wrong. It's been a little bit, but anyway. So that's my recommendation for 5th edition for Greyhawk, and hopefully this has been helpful for you. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, hit the bell, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you later. Hope you all have a wonderful day.